Alrighty, thank you everybody for joining us today. Am I still sharing the screen here? Just making sure.
Yeah, it's coming in.
Okay, cool. I saw the green outline disappeared. So, but yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. This is the Connectathon track kickoff call for the Gravity Project track. My name is Aaron Nushstein. I work over at Lantana Consulting Group and will be the track lead for uh, this track. All right. So I'll do an overview of the Connectathon, the format, the dates, etc. Do a little bit of a Gravity Project overview, and then digging into the track schedule as well as the goals and scenarios that we have set up for the event, and then just going over some additional participant preparations for folks who do intend on joining us and doing some testing. Um, and then at the end, if there's enough time to maybe have some discussion with some folks that might be attending and having something to test, they can maybe give a little bit of an overview of what they're bringing to the Connectathon. But anyway, so yeah, we do have our Connectathon set up for January 14th through the 16th. It is a virtual event, and the meetings are held through Zoom stream. This tends to be a blend of both testing sessions and high-level informational sessions as well. All of the meetings and tracks that kind of coincide with each other or run sort of simultaneously. So there's a lot of different meetings and stuff that folks can kind of bounce around between through those Zoom sessions. The meeting schedule and all of the information around when things are going to occur are tracked in a Whova. So if you've signed up, you probably have already received some information on Whova, but it is important to get sort of synced up and set up with the Whova application so you can see what is happening when. Um, the registration deadline for early bird rates is December 20th. So if you do plan on attending, I do recommend getting registered prior to the 20th, as the rates do go up fairly significantly. And if you are once you do get set up, there is typically some sort of a participant survey that gets sent out. So when that survey does get to your inbox or while you're registering, make sure you select the Gravity Project track as a track that you are interested in, so we can do any necessary outreach to you or to other folks to make sure that you're set up with testing and everything like that if you're planning on testing, and just wanting to get more information from you if you do plan on joining us at the event. Oh yeah, so what is the Gravity Project? I guess for folks who might be uninitiated into what Gravity is, but the Gravity, that's just a brief overview, is a collaborative initiative with the goal to develop consensus-driven data standards to support the collection, use, and exchange of data to address social determinants of health needs. These are the Gravity strategic goals. I'm not going to read all of this, but the two that, and these are the strategic goals that sort of encompass the Gravity Project as a whole. But the main ones that sort of coincide with what we do at Connectathons are the final two, enabling health and social care organizations to effectively implement and test Gravity Project SDOH data exchange and terminology standards to the best to ensure that they better meet community needs and to increase the awareness of Gravity work among broader stakeholder groups. That's simply to say that we do a lot of work in development and outreach with folks to develop standards around social determinants of health, and these Connectathons help us to get in touch with implementers and making sure that they are creating and implementing a system that coincides with what we're developing on our side of things. So, and increasing the awareness, and that's wanting to be available and attending these types of events that HL7 and throws throughout the year. Public collaboration, like just kind of quickly going over that, Gravity convenes, over 2,000 participants from across many different health and human services ecosystem, and within the health and human services ecosystem to better test and develop data standards to address the needs of social determinants of health. You can kind of see on the right there, we run the gamut in terms of who we work with on this project. And just going over the gravity conceptual framework, there's really three main um, pieces that we try to address in the social determinants of health IG. That's the assessment and diagnosis piece, so the gathering of SDOH data when a patient is seen at a healthcare provider, setting those goals and getting them the treatment and interventions that they need based on the results of those assessments, and then making sure that the referral process to a community based organization or some other uh, SDOH provider can better meet the needs of that individual. So some more Connectathon information here. Just going over the track schedule. Uh, the testing goes across 2 days of the Connectathon, the Tuesday, January 14th, and the Wednesday, January 15th days of the Connectathon. The first hour or so of Tuesday tends to be more of like an HL7 general session where they'll kind of give a little bit of an overview and some updates on HL7 and what they're up to, and that type of a spiel. But once that's completed, we go right into testing and doing the work on the in the track. So we're focusing our track to be mainly around both testing and demonstrations from folks who have done implementations around um, the Gravity SDOHIG. So we're not going to have a ton of informational sessions. We're going to do some track or some Gravity track introductions and project updates to start off on Tuesday. But then after that, we're going to dig right into testing and such. We do have some demos set up around self-referral and coordinating platform referral managers. The coordinating platform referral manager demonstration on Tuesday, and around on Wednesday we'll have some more demos around referrals for further assessment. We're also doing a joint track or a joint session with the US Behavioral Health track. So listening in on what they've been working on around their IG, and seeing what sort of interest and collaboration we can do there as well. Then we'll also end each day with a little bit of a Connectathon debrief, just to see where folks are at and seeing what sort of progress folks have been making, and kind of getting notes so we can go into Thursday, which is our track highlights day, where HL7 will kind of throw a presentation where each track lead will give a little bit of an overview of the track and what was tested, what kind of successes and such kind of occurred throughout the day. So using the kind of the last piece of each day to kind of gather that information so we can have a nice and smooth track highlight for HL7. And I also should note that this schedule can be moved around, because I know there's some folks, at least on the call too, that are planning on doing some demonstrations. So we can move these around to better fit your schedules as well. There's plenty of time to do some updating of the schedule. Just kind of throw it together at the current point. So yeah, if you do want to move this around or anything like that, then feel free to reach out to me in terms of what times um, you can make work. Attendees. So typically with a virtual Connectathon, there's two types of attendees. You either have a participant or an observer. Participants are typically more hands-on. They actually have some sort of an implementation or are wanting to test with the reference implementations that we've developed and are essentially, a little bit more active of a of an attendee, whereas there's observers where they're just more interested in learning and wanting to get more information around what each track has to offer. So, if you were interested in our track and wanted to just attend it as an observer, you can learn about, gravity, the gravity project, fire, the SDOH clinical care IG, our reference implementations, as well as all of the great demonstrations that we have lined up as well for the event. But both participants and observers are welcome for the Connectathon. Track goals, our main goal really is to test the workflows that we've defined within the SDOH Clinical Care IG uh, through exchange between implementations from, multiple vendors. That also can include vendors testing with the reference implementations that we have set up as well. Um, Excuse me. We're also looking to update the updates that we've made to the STU 2.2 version of the IG. And, through that update as well, we're also working on a 2.3 version of the IG as well. So we'll obviously make some announcements and give some education around what we're planning to include within the newest version of the IG coming out here sometime next year, and looking to strengthen the community and driving SDOH related standards. Okay. Track scenarios. So we have six, I guess, potentially, we have scenario A and B, or 2A and 2B there. But essentially, there's six scenarios that we're planning on testing throughout the track here in January. I'll start off with actually scenario 3 through 6, which are really the workflows that we discuss in the IG around the referral side of things. So these are sort of the key steps that you would typically expect to see through a referral process, especially in the SDOH IG here. So scenario 3 is the patient assessment using a standard-based questionnaire. So essentially, a healthcare provider provides a patient with some sort of an assessment or a questionnaire. That questionnaire gets filled out by the patient, is returned to the healthcare provider, and then based on the responses, a goal for a SDOH related need would be created, and then an associated referral task and a service request would be created as well. And all of this is again sort of a FHIR-based exchange here, or process. Scenario 4, the provider would then have do the action related to the referral process. So that's depending, I guess, on the particular use case or functionality that the provider would potentially have, or the type of referral that would be initiated. The referral would be sent through to the community-based organization or the CBO. And that can be sent, either through a direct process, directly from the provider to the CBO. There also might be an indirect transaction where a coordinating provider might be sitting in between and doing the referral flow. In that sense, there also should be, some consideration as well if the CBO that is receiving that request is FHIR enabled or not as well, which is a reference to the light referral process that we have within the IG. But scenario 5 is essentially that CBO does receive the referral request and does the actions related to what that task that was assigned to them is relating to. And then scenario 6 is the the completion of the task and making sure that the goal has been met. So the task being sent back to the provider, and then having the checks to make sure that the patient's request has been successfully fulfilled there. Yeah. So the new scenarios that we have, scenario one and scenario two. So scenario one is around an individual self-referral. So basically we're doing the referral process, but we're kind of cutting out the healthcare provider piece of this, where there's some sort of a web portal or some sort of process where the individual or a patient is submitting or working through a questionnaire that they've found online, and that request or that process then gets submitted to either a CBO or some sort of an entity that will take in that questionnaire that was filled out by the patient, and then do the go through the referral process through that sense. So essentially, we're cutting out that the healthcare provider aspect, where a provider is sitting down and giving a patient a questionnaire. Instead, it's an individual that's initiating everything. And then scenario two, the main, I guess, highlight around scenario two is the referral for further assessment piece. So scenario A, we've essentially set this up to be a screening for food insecurity, and is very kind of similar to scenario three, where a provider gives an individual a screener around food insecurity. The provider deems that this individual does need support around food, and then begins the referral process. However, the SCN that receives that referral request takes a look at that task and deems that there needs to be an additional assessment done. So that referral request goes to a CBO that would do that further assessment of the patient, and then the referral request would come back to the SCN to determine the next course of action. So essentially, sort of a referral upon an additional referral that gets submitted there. So any question? Oh, I do see questions here. Rob, 1 and 2B referrals are to what? What actor will be receiving the referral? So I think I answered 2B, that the SCN would be the actor that's receiving the referral, and 2B. Number one would be, and Jim, you can help me out. I'm trying to recall the workflow in my head here, but
Sure, it's SCN on that one
it's
too.
the SCN on one
Yeah,
too.
it's
Okay, yeah.
and it's really the SCN as both as the recipient of the referral, but also possibly as the intermediary for referral directly to a CBO.
So
And I,
scenario, what are the two actors? I'm getting, so CBO, the first one is patient
Yeah, the first one is
to
patient and
SCN.
SCN. Yep.
And the second one is
Is
what?
the second one is a SCN to SCN to CBO, or provider to SCN. So basically, the SCN can assess, a patient, and by sending them
Really?
for further, yeah, they can send them to a
The
CBO for
SCN
further.
is actually, SCN acts as a provider,
Yeah, SCN can act as a provider too. Yep.
a data collector, I guess you would say. So,
Yeah. Hmm.
okay, so they do the population screening based
Hmm.
on their data,
Yep.
and then based on that, they would send to
They
a
have.
CBO the referral for further assessment.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, thanks for the question, Rob.
this is Sarah. Can I ask? I'm sorry. I'm gonna.
Oh, hi, Sarah.
Hi. I thought. So it is. It's together now, doing scenario one. Correct? Is that correct? the Laura Gustin and the team from Together Now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So Rob, there's multiple options in the Together Now platform. Self-referral through the SCN, direct CBO is one of them as well. It's just an intermediary. In like the Together Now platform is built for self-referral directly to identified needs as
Yeah,
assessed by the patient. Yeah. I'm
that
just
also makes sense. Yeah.
yes,
So
I wanted to say that but that is how Together Now functioned prior to the waiver even being signed, right? I just want to note that that's one of the functionalities. And Laura Gustin from Together Now was part of our co-design last year.
you know that's great. You know and I got to leave unfortunately, but what it would be great, I'm assuming we can get access to these, uh, is that if you know the participants for each of these scenarios, it'd be great to see that so that we had a sense of participation already, or planned participation. I'm assuming that you have, for some of these scenarios, maybe you don't have anybody other than Lantana, but but if you do, it'd be great to know about that.
Yeah, yeah, and we do for scenario 2 as well, and some of these other ones. So yeah, but yeah, the demos that we have set up during the event, we're focusing on on the demonstration of each of these scenarios, and we do have folks being able to demonstrate those. Okay. All right. So yeah, just going, I kind of touched on this in the last slide, but just going over the track system roles. So there's the provider system, which is a system that assigns tasks for patient survey, receives those results, and then submits referrals to a CBO, and then also receives the reviewed CBO information at the end of the referral. There's also a consumer or patient app portal, similar to what we were talking about in scenario 1 there, but a system that completes a survey and submits results to either a provider system or an SCN related to a questionnaire. The community-based organization system, so that's the system that's going to receive the referrals, accept, and then provide the feedback based on that individual request. And then also on top of that, we do have the coordination platform as well, which sort of acts as an intermediary where they will receive a referral, assess a patient need, and deliver that referral request to a CBO that can deliver the services that are requested. So for participant preparation, it's a mouthful. For just sort of a general checklist for folks to kind of accomplish prior to digging into the actual meat of the Connectathon. But first and foremost, and it might seem obvious, but make sure you're registered for the Connectathon and complete the participant survey. And then try to define the system role that you're playing within the scenarios above. If you're a provider system, if you're a CBO, et cetera, and let us know what what role or what actor you're playing in these testing scenarios here. And also determine the type of CBO interactions that you might be engaging with, whether that's like I said, either a CBO with a fire server or without a fire server, and whether or not you'd be engaging with a CP or not as well. And then work with us to find exchange partners. If you do plan on testing with us and want to find other organizations that are testing as well, and maybe we can do some determination on whether or not there's an adequate way to exchange data between folks. But if not, they're like we said earlier, there are Lantana reference implementations that do all of the actor roles that we had mentioned prior. So we want to get you guys set up with being able to test and do whatever you need to get going. And then the other thing is to set goals. Going into these sorts of events, it's important to kind of, sit down and think about what you want to get out of these sort of testing events and seeing what sort of accomplishments or, um, you know, uh, getting some sort of value out of Connectathon. So, write down what your goals are, and at the end of the event, we'll kind of run through those goals and seeing did you accomplish what you wanted to accomplish? If so, why? If not, why not? And obviously there's sort of a spectrum in between in those sorts of answers, but just noting what you want to accomplish in attending one of these types of testing events. Any questions? We have a few ways you can reach out to us. There is the Gravity Connectathon Zulip stream where you can ask questions around Connectathon and participation from there. You're also free to submit an email to myself. There's my email down there. We also have a project Confluence page as well for more information around the Gravity project and any information that you're looking to find around what we're doing, the work that we've accomplished, and the path that we're trying to forge forward. And then if you're looking to, even dig into the IG a little bit and you want to, submit a ticket against, our current implementation guide, you're free to do that at the HL7 JIRA website that we have listed down there. And then I also have, additional links to the track kickoff. Actually, that is the old track kickoff. I will make sure we have a, updated one here. But we also have a link to the updated IG for STU 2.2 as well. So I will open it up to questions if folks have any. I know there's a few testers as well that are on board here. If there's folks who want to speak to what they plan on testing during the event or whatnot, but yeah, otherwise, if folks don't have anything else, we can probably conclude this portion of the meeting today. All righty. Well, I appreciate everyone listening to this. And oh, Andy, I do see you went off mute there.
Oh, yeah. I'm just curious about preparing participants to see what we demo. I'm not going to have enough time to show all this stuff. So I'm wondering if we can post a document or videos or something beforehand on how we go about that.
Yeah, we can work together to sort of coordinate all of that. If there's, video or recordings that you have around, certain pieces that you want to share, but probably, might not have time to do that, or, might not, have all the resources to be able to do that, we can work through that. And yeah, if there's, additional links or stuff like that, we can post them to the Connectathon track page and that type of a thing. So yeah. Rita, can you describe what is different, new in 2.2? So yeah, so we're actually preparing for a new 2.3 version of the IG that I can, maybe speak a little bit upon. But the main focus around STU 2.3 is to make sure that it aligns with US Core, specifically US Core 610 and US Core 7. So we're doing work to make sure that the fire artifacts that we have crafted for the IG are conformant to all three versions of US Core that are primarily used, which are, the two that I mentioned, as well as 311. So we're currently working through that. There's some work still to be done on some of our observations profiles that we need to work through, and we're currently doing some QA on the condition and goal and procedure resources as well that needed some updates that we found between the three US Core versions. But yeah, that's really the primary focus and need that we're looking to address here in STU 2.3. In addition to some minor updates to narratives and some additional domains that we're looking to update as well for our value sets. So.
Thanks. I was just curious if that was specifically to like align with USCDI v3 or HTI1.
Yeah, it is. We're kind of looking forward and seeing, where, regulation is headed. And yeah, part of that is just making sure that, we don't have to do a lot of this work moving forward. So, and I know, a lot of the folks who have been working on US Core are also looking to, make sure that, IGs moving forward are conformant with those newer versions of US Core. So, yep.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. All righty. Well, thank you so much for everyone's time, and looking forward to talking with you all at the Connectathon. So we can probably stop recording if you want, Sarah.